All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am V. Ravi Kumar and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Noida Airport will become logistical gateway of North India. Uttar Pradesh becomes only state to have 5 international airports. President Ramnath Kovind to lead the nation in celebrating Constitution Day today. Centre cautions states as new COVID variant detected in South Africa, Hong Kong and Botswana. Asks them to conduct rigorous screening of all incoming passengers from affected countries. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 120 crore mark. All Haryana schools to reopen with full capacity from December 1st. Indian Railways rolls back prices of platform tickets to pre-COVID era rates. Rating agency Moody's says India's economic growth will rebound strongly, pegs India's GDP growth at 9.3% in 2022 financial year. India beat Canada 13-1 in FIH Junior Men's Hockey World Cup in Bhubaneswar. And India's PV Sindhu storms into women's singles quarterfinals of Indonesia Open Badminton Championship in Bali. As India created history by administering over 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. Please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 01123978046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has laid the foundation stone of the Noida International Airport at Jewar in Gautam Budh Nagar of Uttar Pradesh. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said this new airport will play an instrumental role in development by paving the way for modern infrastructure. He said the best modern infrastructure is being developed in the new India of the 21st century.
21वीं सदी का नया भारत आज एक से बढ़कर एक बेहतरीन आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का निर्माण कर रहा है। बेहतर सड़कें, बेहतर रेल नेटवर्क, बेहतर एयरपोर्ट, ये सिर्फ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट ही नहीं होते, बल्कि ये पूरे क्षेत्र का कायाकल्प कर देते हैं। गरीब हो या मध्यम वर्ग, किसान हो या व्यापारी, मजदूर हो या उद्यमी, हर किसी को इसका बहुत बहुत लाभ मिलता है।
The Prime Minister said this airport will not only provide tremendous employment opportunities to the people but will also play a vital role in increasing exports from this region. Terming the Noida International Airport the logistics gateway of North India, Mr. Modi said it will make the entire region a powerful reflection of the National Gati Shakti Master Plan.
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट की ताकत और बढ़ जाती है जब उनके साथ सीमलेस कनेक्टिविटी हो, लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी हो। नोएडा इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट कनेक्टिविटी की दृष्टि से भी एक बेहतरीन मॉडल बनेगा। नोएडा इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट उत्तरी भारत का लॉजिस्टिक गेटवे बनेगा। ये इस पूरे क्षेत्र को नेशनल गति शक्ति मास्टर प्लान का एक सशक्त प्रतिबिंब बनाएगा।
With this, UP has become the only state in the country with 5 international airports. Attacking the previous governments for ignoring the development of Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Modi said they always showed false dreams to the people of the state. He said Uttar Pradesh is scaling new heights of development under the present BJP government and making a significant mark in the national and international arena. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia and several state ministers were present during the occasion. Constitution Day is being celebrated across the country today to mark the adoption of the Indian Constitution by the Constituent Assembly. The day commemorates the adoption of the Constitution of India. On this very day in 1949, the Constituent Assembly of the country formally adopted the Constitution, which came into force on 26 January 1950. President Ramnath Kovind will be leading the celebrations of Constitution Day in the Central Hall of Parliament House. The occasion will also be graced by Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, ministers, MPs and other dignitaries. The general public has been requested to join President Kovind in reading the preamble to the Constitution from wherever they are, following all COVID-19 protocols. Addressing a Constitution Day function last year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had called upon people to always remember the contributions of those leaders because of whom the Indian Constitution was drafted.
आज डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद और बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर से लेकर के संविधान सभा के उन सभी व्यक्तित्वों, उनको सबको नमन करने का भी दिन है, जिनके अथक प्रयासों से हम सब देशवासियों को संविधान मिला है। आज का दिन पूज्य बापू की प्रेरणा को, सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल की प्रतिबद्धता को प्रणाम करने का दिन। ऐसे ही अनेक दूरदर्शी प्रतिनिधियों ने स्वतंत्र भारत के नवनिर्माण का मार्ग तय किया। देश उन प्रयासों को याद रखे।
In order to ensure maximum people's participation, Parliamentary Affairs Ministry has developed two portals. One portal is for online reading of the preamble to the Constitution in 22 official languages and English. The other portal is for online quiz on constitutional democracy. Anyone can participate in these and get certificates. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Constitution Day was first celebrated in 2015 when NDA government decided to mark the day as a tribute to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who played an important role in its framing as the chairman of the drafting committee. The Constituent Assembly took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to accomplish the stupendous task of drafting the historic document. It had many members who fought for the freedom of the country and came from different regions, religions, communities, reflecting the country's diversity. The Constitution declares India a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, assuring its citizens justice, equality and liberty, and endeavors to promote fraternity. It is the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world. The Indian Constitution has stood the test of the time as India has been able to foster a vibrant democracy at its heart. Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
In an exclusive talk with AIR News, Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra extended greetings to all the citizens on the occasion of Constitution Day. He informed that the Constitution vests superintendence, direction and control of the conduct of all elections to Parliament and State Legislature in the Election Commission. Highlighting the importance of right to vote guaranteed by the Constitution, Mr. Chandra requested all citizens who have attained the age of 18 years by 1st January 2022 to register themselves in the special summary revision of electoral rolls.
संविधान 18 वर्ष की आयु पार कर चुके प्रत्येक भारतीय नागरिक को मत देने का अधिकार देता है। आप अपने इस अधिकार की महत्ता को समझें और पूर्णतः उपयोग करें। आयोग स्पेशल समरी रिवीजन और फोटो इलेक्टोरल रोल के माध्यम से लगातार मतदाता पंजीकरण पर जोर दे रहा है। सभी नागरिकों से अनुरोध है कि यदि आप 1 जनवरी 2022 तक 18 वर्ष की आयु पूरी कर रहे हैं तो खुद को मतदाता सूची में जरूर पंजीकृत कराएं और 100% मतदान के हमारे लक्ष्य को पूरा करने में अपना महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दें। साथियों, भारत निर्वाचन आयोग सतत रूप से चुनावी प्रक्रिया को पारदर्शी, निष्पक्ष और मतदाताओं के लिए सरल, सुगम एवं सहज बनाए रखने हेतु प्रतिबद्ध रहा है और आगे भी रहेगा।
President Ramnath Kovind has said that the new education policy being implemented in the country will improve creative skills among youth and give strength to the regional languages. The President was speaking at the centenary celebrations of Harcourt Butler Technical University, HBTU in Kanpur.
मुझे ये जानकर प्रसन्नता हुई कि राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 को कार्य रूप देने के लिए HBTU में समुचित प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं। नई शिक्षा नीति द्वारा ऐसी उच्चतर शिक्षा की व्यवस्था की जानी है जो परंपरा से पोषण प्राप्त करती हो और अपने दृष्टिकोण में आधुनिक व भविष्य उन्मुख भी हो। नई शिक्षा नीति में त्रिभाषा सूत्र की संस्तुति की गई है। इससे विद्यार्थियों में सृजनात्मक क्षमता विकसित होगी तथा भारतीय भाषाओं की ताकत और बढ़ेगी।
Addressing the gathering, Mr. Ramnath Kovind said that girl students should be encouraged to enter the field of technical education.
Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has emphasized the need to strengthen the public health system to fight public health outbreaks in the future. He stated, India has been able to fight COVID-19 under a whole-of-government approach where provincial and local governance provided fillip to the efforts of the Government of India. The Union Minister said this during his interaction with ambassadors of Latin America and Caribbean nations yesterday. Explaining India's strategy of curbing COVID-19, he spoke on the 6 vaccines approved in India, of which 2 are indigenously developed. He informed that 82% of eligible population in India have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine and 44% of Indians are fully vaccinated. The centre has cautioned states and union territories against the new variant of COVID-19 detected in South Africa and 2 other countries. A new variant of COVID-19 has been detected in Botswana, South Africa and Hong Kong that is the most mutated version of the virus yet, according to experts. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan has written to additional chief secretaries or principal secretaries or secretaries health of all states and union territories stating multiple cases of a COVID-19 variant B11529 have been reported in the 3 countries. He asked all states and union territories to conduct rigorous screening and testing of all international travelers coming from or transiting through South Africa, Hong Kong and Botswana. We spoke to Niti Aayog member VK Paul about the new variant coming up in some countries.
हमें अभी भी याद रखना चाहिए कि ये महामारी खत्म नहीं हुई। वायरस अभी भी दुनिया में और देश में मौजूद है और हम देख रहे हैं कि बाहर के देशों में, खासकर यूरोप में, बहुत बड़े जोरों पर ये वायरस फिर अपना इफेक्ट दिखा रहा है। केसेस हो रहे हैं, हॉस्पिटल एडमिशंस हो रहे हैं, आईसीयूज भरने शुरू हो गए हैं। तो हमें मैसेज यही है कि हम मेहनत करें, वैक्सीन लगाएं, मास्क भी लगाएं, सोशल डिस्टेंस दूरी भी रखें और ये जो प्रिकॉशंस हैं इनको हमें लेते रहना है। हमें अभी भी चौकस रहना है। वायरस अपना प्रारूप भी बदलता है, अपना बिहेवियर भी बदलता है। ये अभी वक्त वही है कि हम अब पूरा अपनी चौकसी रखें, अपने को बचा के रखें। जिसको वैक्सीन नहीं लगा वो जल्दी से जल्दी वैक्सीन लगाए।
India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed the 120 crore mark. Over 120 crore, 17 lakh doses have been administered till now. Health Ministry said more than 74 lakh 59,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. All government and private schools in Haryana will reopen with full capacity from 1st of December. The decision to this effect was taken at a cabinet meeting chaired by Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar yesterday. Education Minister Kanwar Pal said the compliance of the COVID-19 protocol will continue in schools as earlier. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Noida Airport will become logistical gateway of North India. Uttar Pradesh becomes only state to have 5 international airports. President Ramnath Kovind to lead the nation in celebrating Constitution Day today. Centre caution states as new COVID variant detected in South Africa, Hong Kong and Botswana. Asks them to conduct rigorous screening of all incoming passengers from affected countries. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 120 crore mark. All Haryana schools to reopen with full capacity from December 1. Indian Railways rolls back prices of platform tickets to pre-COVID era rates. Rating agency Moody's says India's economic growth will rebound strongly. Pegs India's GDP growth at 9.3% in 2022 financial year. India beat Canada 13-1 FIH Junior Men's Hockey World Cup in Bhubaneswar. And India's PV Sindhu storms into women's singles quarterfinals of Indonesia Open Badminton Championship in Bali. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Indian Railways has rolled back prices of platform tickets to pre-COVID era rates. As India witnesses a dip in the number of COVID-19 cases, Railways yesterday declared that the prices of platform tickets will be slashed back to pre-pandemic rates. Indian Railways had hiked prices of platform tickets in March 2020 in order to minimize the footfall of people during the pandemic. Like earlier, platform tickets will now be available at 10 rupees again. Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation IRCTC has also decided to resume the services of cooked meals in Rajdhani, Shatabdi, Duronto, Vande Bharat, Tejas and Gatiman Express trains. The centre has reiterated its commitment to release funds for wage and material payments for proper implementation of the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, MGNREGA. The scheme provides guarantee of at least 100 days of wage employment against the demand made by a household in a rural area. Rural Development Ministry in a statement said that during the current financial year, so far, more than 240 crore persons days have been generated.
Rating agency Moody's has projected that the economic growth in India will rebound strongly. In its latest report, Moody's Investors Service pegged the country's GDP growth at 9.3% in 2022 financial year and 7.9% in 2023. It said steady progress in COVID vaccination will support a sustained recovery in India's economic activity. Moody's said consumer demand, spending and manufacturing activity are recovering following the easing of pandemic restrictions. It said improved vaccination coverage has led to stabilization in consumer confidence. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
We, the people of India.
Today is Constitution Day, also known as Samvidhan Divas, which is celebrated in our country on the 26th of November every year to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India on this day in 1949.
On 26th November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India adopted the Constitution of India, which came into effect from 26th of January 1950. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment on 19th of November 2015 notified the decision of the Government of India to celebrate the 26th day of November every year as Constitution Day to promote Constitution values among citizens.
स्वतंत्रता को बल देता है, समता न्याय का फल देता है, जिसकी बदौलत भारत देश को मिला यहाँ सम्मान है। भारत का संविधान है।
The Constitution of India was framed by the Constituent Assembly, set up under the Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946. The Assembly held its first meeting on the 9th of December 1946 and elected Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, the oldest member of the Assembly, as the Provisional President. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru called upon the members to take the pledge of dedication.
At this solemn moment, when the people of India, through suffering and sacrifice, have secured freedom, I, a member of the Constituent Assembly of India, do dedicate myself in all humility to the service of India and her people, to the end that this ancient land gain her rightful place in the world and make her full and willing contribution to the promotion of world peace and the welfare of mankind.
On December the 11th, 1946, the Assembly elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as its permanent chairman. Highlighting the role of the Constituent Assembly in an infant nation, Dr. Rajendra Prasad said,
मैं ये भी मानता हूँ कि इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली को पूरा अख्तियार, मुकम्मल अख्तियार इस बात का है कि वो अपनी कार्रवाई जिस तरह से चाहे करे, इसके अंदर वो जो कुछ करना चाहे करे और इसमें किसी भी बाहर की ताकत को अख्तियार नहीं है कि इसकी कार्रवाइयों में वो कुछ भी हस्तक्षेप या दस्तंदाजी कर सके.
Members of the Constituent Assembly represented the different ideologies and diverse culture of our great nation. The Constituent Assembly set up 13 committees for framing the Constitution. The drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was charged with the Herculean task of preparing the draft Constitution. He said,
"Let us leave aside slogans. Let us leave aside words which frighten people. Let us even make concession to the prejudices of our opponents. Bring them in so that they may willingly join with us on marching upon that road, which, as I said, if we walk long enough, must necessarily lead us to unity.
Despite the diverse opinions, the Constituent Assembly solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic.
Having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic.
The Constitution of India is the longest written constitution in the world, containing 395 articles, 22 parts and 12 schedules. The sections on fundamental rights and fundamental duties in the Constitution of India lay down a foundation for the appropriate behavior and conduct of citizens. The directive principles guide that the state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people by securing and protecting, as effectively as it may, a social order in which justice, social, economic and political, shall inform all the institutions of the national life.
And to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual.
People of India are the ultimate custodians of the Constitution. It is in them that sovereignty vests, and it is in their name that the Constitution was adopted. The Constitution empowers the citizen, but the citizen too empowers the Constitution by following it, by protecting it, and by preserving it to make it more meaningful with words and deeds.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark Gold Jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak, Jago.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on Sunday. It will be the 83rd episode of the monthly radio program. The Prime Minister has invited people to share their ideas for this month's episode. In a bilingual live phone-in program Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Piyush Ranjan of AIIMS, New Delhi will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on toll-free number 1800-115-767. The number once again is 1800-115-767. The 18th meeting of the Foreign Ministers of Russia, India and China, RIC, will be held in digital video conference format today under the chairmanship of External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. They are expected to discuss further strengthening of RIC trilateral cooperation, including exchange of views on various regional and international issues of importance. India took over the chairmanship of the RIC after the last meeting of RIC foreign ministers in Moscow in September last year. Following the meeting, Dr. Jaishankar will pass on the chairmanship of the RIC to the Foreign Minister of China for the next 1 year.
India has got its first win in the FIA Junior Men's Hockey World Cup 2021 at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar yesterday evening. The Indian junior team registered a tremendous victory in their second Pool B match of the World Cup by defeating Canada 13-1 in a one-sided fashion. India had to face 4-5 defeat against France in their first match.
Two-time Olympic medalist P.V. Sindhu stormed into the women's singles quarterfinals with a comfortable 21-12, 21-18 victory over Yvonne Lee of Germany. In the quarterfinals, Sindhu will face South Korean shuttler Sim Yoo-jin, who defeated Spain's Beatriz Corrales in the round of 16. Whereas in the men's singles, former world number 1 Kidambi Srikanth was knocked out by Victor Axelsen of Denmark. The second seed beat the Indian 21-14, 21-18. Axelson's quarter-final opponent will be B. Sai Praneeth, who sealed his last 8 spot with a 21-17, 14-21, 21-19 win over Frenchman Christophe Popov. On the second day of the first cricket test in Kanpur, India will resume their first innings at the overnight score of 258 for 4 against New Zealand today. Shreyas Iyer on 75 and Ravindra Jadeja on 50 were at the crease when stumps were drawn yesterday. Earlier, opting to bat first, India lost opener Mayank Agarwal before the hosts reached 82 for 1 at lunch, courtesy a 61-run stand between Cheteshwar Pujara and Shubman Gill. In the second session, India lost Gill, who scored 52 runs. Pujara added 26 and skipper Ajinkya Rahane 35, all three failing to score big. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will hover between 0 and 13 degrees Celsius. Jammu will also have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 9 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 25 degrees. Leh is likely to witness partly cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperature will hover between -7 and 6 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between -2 and 18 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a partly sunny sky. The minimum temperature was 8 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 24 degrees. The national capital Delhi will have shallow fog. The temperature will vary between 12 and 28 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 34 degrees. Chennai is expected to witness a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The temperature will vary between 24 and 29 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Most newspapers have covered the laying of foundation of Jewar International Airport and the decision to review the ₹8 lakh cap for EWS quota prominently on its front pages. Noida Airport to be new logistics gateway, says Modi, writes Hindustan Times. At Jewar, Modi and Yogi toast infra roast opposition, says the Times of India. Centre to revisit ₹8 lakh cap on EWS quota in NEET PG, reports the Pioneer. The paper adds that NEET counselling would stand postponed for further 4 weeks. New South Africa variant triggers alert in India, reports the Indian Express. 101 projects lined up under PM Gati Shakti, reports Financial Express. Air quality poor, SC reimposes ban on construction in NCR, reports the Tribune. The Tribune reports that 13 years after the 26/11 attacks, 40 ships, 10 aircraft patrol seized daily in order to tighten coastal security. And finally, milestone, driverless train in Delhi Metro, says the Pioneer. The paper adds, the Delhi Metro is now globally fourth in the driverless operations category.
Thank you, Subhadra, for an overview of the morning news headlines. Now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Noida Airport will become logistical gateway of North India. Uttar Pradesh becomes only state to have 5 international airports. President Ramnath Kovind to lead the nation in celebrating Constitution Day today. Centre caution states as new COVID variant detected in South Africa, Hong Kong and Botswana. Ask them to conduct rigorous screening of all incoming passengers from affected countries. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 120 crore mark. All Haryana schools to reopen with full capacity from December 1st. Indian Railways rolls back prices of platform tickets to pre-COVID era rates. Rating agency Moody's says India's economic growth will rebound strongly, pegs India's GDP growth at 9.3% in 2022 financial year. India beat Canada 13-1 in FIH Junior Men's Hockey World Cup in Bhubaneswar, and India's PV Sindhu storms into women's singles quarterfinals of Indonesia Open Badminton Championship in Bali. With that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.